back, our third game of the day now. And again, we get the people's favorite team, France, will be returning to our screens with a different opponent this time around.
Yeah, they are guaranteed to make it out already. It's now a case in point of, can they get first in the group? Can they go flawless? All of these things, which are real nice positives. But for France, we saw them earlier. They look clean. There was a couple of moments where there was a few hiccups, and maybe that game a little bit closer than they would have wanted. But all that they care is that they did beat Slovakia 13-11. They got the win, and that's all that matters to them. Slovakia has been quite unfortunate as well. But, 2-13-11 losses.
Game.
Yeah, 2-13-11 losses. And the Bulgaria one as well felt kind of similar. Honestly, I felt for a large portion of that, Slovakia were kind of in control. It was just that tail end. They lost control of it, and before you know it, it's done. And the same thing sort of felt like that against France. And that actually might be the difference between them not even making it out of the groups.
Yeah, Slovakia might miss out. Like, we've got 3 teams sitting 1-3, and one of those teams is Ukraine. So Ukraine have to win this if they have any chance of making it through. We'll take a look at the lineup, and I was saying to you before we went live with this game here that it's an interesting one because Ukraine as a country has a lot of very good individuals, and not saying these players aren't, but I'm not familiar with them. So I don't really know what to expect. The results so far haven't been fantastic for this team, so that's something to go off. They did have a very close game against Czech Republic, and Czech Republic have a really strong roster, so they've definitely obviously got some good firepower, and they beat Bulgaria as well, who looked really good. So
True.
This is a team that's been doing well, but very unknown to me.
Yeah, there is some positives that you can take away from it. Obviously they started off their tournament with a win over Bulgaria, but then it has sadly gone downhill since. Losses to Slovakia 13-6, to Turkey 13-5, and as you mentioned just a little bit earlier to Czech Republic 13-11, which is close, but in best of ones in this sort of situation, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. France, you all should know most of these names at this point if you follow the scene. And of course, we caught them a little bit earlier today with their 13-11 over Slovakia. Before that, yesterday, no team was able to even get double digits against them with a 13-3 over Czech Republic, 13-9 over Bulgaria, and a 13-2 over Turkey. So they've been absolutely farming the top of the group, and I doubt anything will change.
I think the most impressive thing about this team earlier was that it was Julie that was coming through in a lot of big clutch rounds. She won the round that if they lost it probably would have cost them the game, where she denied the 1v3 from Kat. And yeah, she had a lot of high impact, which when you look at the players here, not saying Julie's not a really good player, but the players that surround her are all star players in their own right. And that's what makes this team so scary, because every individual on it has a very high ceiling.
Yes, absolutely, and got the ace as well, which is pretty cool. So we've seen an ace come through. France looking clean already. Let's take a look at the veto. We had Ancient a little bit earlier, and it just get banned out. And we are going towards one of my personal favorite maps.
This is good. Map.
This is good.
France, I love you. I love you.
So happy.
Vive
we get a new
France.
map.
No Ancient, no Mirage. We get a Nubis. We get something new now. Oh,
can I say some
tears of joy?
Based bands coming out from France here as well. Mirage, Ancient, and Dust
yes,
2.
They got rid of them.
Get rid of Mirage and Dust 2. I'm pretty happy with that. Ancient I do like, but we've already seen enough of it. So I'm all for this. That's pretty base for me. Anubis, at least for me, my second favorite map currently in the pool right now. I think it's a very fun map to watch. It's new, it's different, but it still is super exciting. Teams are still finding new ways to play it. We still haven't seen everything uncovered. I mean, even recently I've seen new ways in which people are throwing Molotovs and flashes to get themselves spaces and the rest. And this is a map which I think is really cool. So I'm glad to see this. It also lends very well towards both puggy teams and teams of massive strategic depth. You can play this in 2 different mindsets, and both work just as well.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be where France probably have a really strong advantage coming into this, because as we illuminated earlier, they're on boot camp, they've got a coach working with them, and they've been playing in tournaments outside of IESF, so they've been really putting in the grind to play as many officials and as many scrims as possible, and I think that's translating into their success in the server. I think, as you mentioned, when it comes to a map like Anubis, this is where they can do a lot of work. I particularly look towards that CT side, even though T sides are the strength, just because this is a team that I think will be able to take advantage of the aggressive moves you can make on the CT side. Yeah. Normally, I would look to Astra as being a star player on this map, but with Kaede picking up the AWP, she might be the difference maker. But I've cast Astra doing a lot of crazy things on this map before, so keep an eye on her.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see a new map. keep things fresh, keep us on our toes, I guess, a little bit. T-side star going through for Ukraine. France on that CT side, and it might just be a quick play here. They are flying in towards the fights, where Molotov will slow them down briefly, and the smoke too.
Yeah, Emerald doing everything to delay this attack into A, and it's worked. Smoke does the job. They're forced back, and USP's at long range, double up in dark. Julie had pushed through mid, and she's getting a lot of information and gets herself a kill. She can just fall back off that as well. France have the advantage. Pushing up is the army. It sees Rachel. K-Day's there as well. Astra peeks out B main, sees nobody, so France have a beautiful setup on B.
It's workable. Rachel kind of playing off both the crossfires here. I don't even really know where Ukraine want to go. They don't have the numbers advantage, and they don't have the information. It looks like they want to finish back in the direction of A here, and there's 2 players to meet them.
This is a great bait. Emerald should go undetected, although depends how much they recognize that she was the player that started A. I don't know if they really saw her, so probably don't. Now she can swing out, get her kill. Julie finds one as well. They're trying to push their way in, but they're not getting a single kill. Emerald and Julie lock down A.
Wow. Quick aggro when they take the fights. Ukraine slow that round down a lot, but the second France are caught up on, so clean. They just make sure there's no gaps to work with, and on both sides play each other really well. There's a triple stack over towards the B side, which gets a lot of mileage at the tail end, and that is what we want to see coming through for France. We know that they have the individuals, we know that they have the synergy and the setup, especially being on boot camp and just flexing those muscles there like that, massively important. On the start for them, a buy-in for them as well. Ukraine, no bomb plant, no kills means nothing to work off here. Just a few Glocks coming in towards this one, hoping for a bomb plant. That might give them a little bit of extra money, but it's still, yeah, a tough one. A really, really solid start out from France. And that might be a sign of things to come as well. They've been a really solid side all the way throughout these groups.
Are the info's dropped over? How the players that got all the kills have MP9s. Wasn't paying full attention, but presumably that was the case. And they've taken full control. Rachel pushes out. Seeing anyone milling about, but she might need Blither soon. We got Yami, Blither, PSF, Payot.
Yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah.
Montana, that was easy. And Valenko.
There you go. Down goes Blither. And the second as well as Montana will be caught with the MP9. Rushing in towards the fight. Clean as. Pistol pulled out. Can't quite replicate. Through the smoke, Julie will pop out. And only the one casualty. Very cleanly done. MP9s get the kills. Money in the bank. All the positives you want to see. Ukraine will come through with a bye, however. And now for Ukraine, they absolutely have to lay down the gauntlet themselves on this T-side. They have to try and make it work. But it's a big ask. It is. I mean, for France, they seem very confident right now, and their setups in terms of how they're slowing the tempo down is something which has really been a big positive in these early couple of rounds.
And look at this immediate aggression from France. They do a deep smoke, saying take full control of B main, and Ukraine, they're just going to sit back. Let them have this space. It's a good move to make when you got the MP9s. That's fast from Astra. Just on Giami, who was looking to catch a timing, walking through that smoke. They do punish this aggression. Julie not going to get up to anything further. 4v4. Smoke felt like it lasted forever. Okay, no, it was a redeploy. Now going to move forward. Rachel could get caught on a timing on her jiggle. Turn up. Slots one. Rachel knows she's the one catching them. Almost the double up. Astra's here to support if needed. And look and spit on B. Good timing on the Molotov. They get behind it though, and Montana gets the kill. The push forward from Emerald with that MP9 at long range. Can't get it done. And Astra, a clutch required. First is hers, but surely they can just be on their way to A. Gonna hear Astra rotating And he might even call back the bomb. Yeah, that's going to be the decision. So Astra's going to get to A, but B is where Ukraine go.
Kind of creeping through that smoke, but trying to get a little bit proactive here. And I don't hate this decision. Astra holding, might not expect one up close. Knife out as well. AK pulled out, but yeah, not expecting Montana this close. I actually like that. Despite being low on HP, it's just a little bit unorthodox, which will catch them off guard, and Ukraine make the first gun round stick for them. That's massively important. Thankfully, there's still money in reserves for France, but it's a big round to take. They've put a lot of pressure on. They've shown that they're crisp on the rifles too. That 180 is sort of ridiculous as well. And where for France, they now have to just be a little bit more careful. The AWP is coming up, though, is another main thing. And this is one of those maps which I always see as the sort of AWP's paradise.
It's a little funky. You got an XM and a 5.7 around it. So might not matter if KD just takes the forward fight in middle. No utility to punish her on that. Normally, you will see like a window smoke or at least a Molotov to offset that aggressive play, but she gets rewarded with a kill. That's a rifle that can't be picked up at least. I see a boost. No, just lining up the Molotov. But a smoke forward will prevent IESF from taking further control. Okay, they makes a way to dark and just reposition. Ooh, it was a good line. Missed shot, and she cops a bit of flack in retaliation.
Felt like that hit for me. It looked pretty spot on. I think maybe just briefly moved, I guess, as she shot. Slow around again, though, for Ukraine. They don't know where to go with the numbers not in their favor. They're hoping that a mistake comes through for France, but they're just not giving them the fights. Especially when they do as well. They're not falling, and they're making sure they don't overextend. The pot flash doesn't go as deep as they would want. It does more damage towards Rachel than it does to the entire T side.
Now you're in a powerful position to split. The flames actually causing a bit of issues for Blitter. Has to continue forward. Gets stuck behind default, and they're accelerating in. The auto shotgun from Emerald gets one. She picks up an M4, gets another. And this is still a bit funky. 2-on-2. KD and Astra fall back to allow the smoke to fade. KD spots the arm, hits the shot. And that's a nice one from Astra. France get the opening off KD, and they can close it. Ukraine look like they found a bit of a gap, but they couldn't quite get into B cleanly.
Yeah, big guns at the end, showcasing just how good they can be. Super nicely done. For a moment, it looked concerning. It really did. And I think just gladly they are to play off each other quite well. And I think I like the way they go about it too. There's a smoke down in front of them, CT, slight gap that they can work with. They don't opt to push through it or play around it or anything of the sort. They just fall back. They actually give good respect towards Ukraine and wait for them to have to inevitably make a move because they are the ones who have to get that bomb down. It's well played from France at that tail end. Ukraine will get a little bit of an investment in just a few pistols. Maybe nothing too scary. It makes the HEs and the mollies all the more scary on the other side too. Without the armor, they're pretty fleshy.
Fleshy.
Fleshy beings.
Yeah. It's kind of invoking images.
Just, you know, they're vulnerable. They don't have the
yeah, no,
the Kevlar,
I get
you know
it.
what I mean?
They're all fleshy.
An XM against no armor. It's, you know, it's a match made in hell, I guess. Minute on the clock. Ukraine haven't really made the decision. Where are we going here? Where do we want to finish? What is the plan? They would love a bomb plant. It would just give them all the extra trimmings in towards the next round. I don't get it. MP9, happy to bait in fights. That's why.
A flash Emerald takes a peek, gets one. She can just stick around against these pistols. Feeling empowered to clean up house. Julie slips in against these two, locking down this side of the server. 4K for Emerald. Perfect way to utilize that single SMG they had. Couldn't have hoped for a better outcome if you're France.
Yeah, that's all you want. Take those fights with ease. Allow for the MP9s, for example, to get active too, which is great for long-term econ. All of the positives you can take. France, 3-round lead. This is the main thing that we're looking at. With this France side, well, they're being made to work for it. No two ways about it. A couple of these rounds are coming down to the wire, and especially because Ukraine are taking their sweet time about deciding where they want to finish. France is still seeing it over the line. this buffer they've got, it puts all the more pressure on these T-side rounds. That's a lovely shot with the AWP, though.
They're aggressive, but it might not matter because they've lost control of A and they can just pounce in. Might even catch this player on the lurk, but again, it would be a consolation frag, you feel. Crane have managed to breach in pretty cleanly, and that's a big kill. K-Day will get the trade. Really giving this a look in. Stepping forward, and Naomi on the line hits the shot fully blind. That's a nice one. I'm surprised K-Day even got close to giving that a look in. Yeah, the money's there, but a 2-on-4 out of position. That was always going to be a long shot.
Yeah, it kind of makes you question. You're thinking, I guess with us, it was better than hindsight of why, right? Why are we actually giving this a go? Because when you look at that, saving an open M4 there, well, it feels like a defeatist attitude is really not the worst thing in the world. You've lost the site. You can just admit to yourselves, is what it is. We didn't win our first couple of engagements. Let's just keep on what we got and go again. But now they come in with just a rifle. Like you said, thankfully they do have money. Julie can drop over, which is the main thing, and they can suffice with the buy again. They can even still pick up an AWP. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But just in terms of, again, that long-term outlook, which I always try to keep an eye on, is that necessary? Maybe not. Could have an effect later down the line, potentially, too. If you are to lose this one, for example, not only do Ukraine take another round, but they probably would be able to tie the game up, because then your economy gets shot. Bar Julie, that is. Another important round for France. Despite having a 4-2 lead, this one arguably feels like a little bit more pressure on their shoulders.
Katie with your good angle. Surely, even if she's not good for one, it baits in Emerald perfectly. So nice setup. Another opening kill for France. They're kind of positioned to split B. There's an extra player that rotates over the side. Mid has just not been part of the equation for Ukraine, which means France can put their bodies on the sites. Is spotting one out in main. Julie's looking for the fight and timing on the swing. Will spot them and gets both. Both headshots too. Great spray from Julie. That's pit them at the post. Not much to really bring this one back unless they give up a kill to this AWP that's hunting.
Holding as well. They might just keep peppering bits of util towards main. Spotted. I don't think Julie realized. Left shoulder, betrayed her in that one. 2v4 though, still difficult. Rachel double stacked in with Astra in dark. It's such a strong position. They hold all the cards in their hand, really. Molotov back plot. All for now. Flash is a beauty, in fact, as well. Rachel gets one, and Rachel will swing for the second as well. Only the one casualty. France, survivor, potential little scare there. Thankfully, ends up being pretty damn smooth. 5-2. Ukraine, they can buy in. It's not going to be the easiest one, but they can actually buy back in. But France are in a strong position now.
Very strong. That one really felt too easy. Pretty standard setup in. A main gets the kill and Julie just mops them up. Ukraine found success and they went fast to A. This default, I think, against a team with such strong individuals like France just isn't quite working out, especially when mid is being left vacant. I really think the Ukraine need to start taking advantage of that part of the map. At least putting pressure on to make France have to put resources there early.
Agreed. France, no, they don't have to fight it. They can sit back like this, for example, and in a worst case, which is the normal case, I think, right now for France, where because there's no pressure, you can quickly just divert your attention back on towards the site itself. Via camera. I mean, it's simple, it's effective, and this is the thing at the moment. And the other thing too is where France get free roam and real estate and all the rest that just continue taking that quick rotate coming through with ease. I mean, it's a simple spot, a simple swing. Emerald off the back of Julie's pot flash gets a double. That is nice.
And again, just going to try and push into B with the remaining players. Rachel playing around the pillar, and it's a clean double. Whether it's Julie, whether it's Rachel, doesn't matter who is there. They're able to prevent entry into B. Back 10. Goodbye. I feel like you've done this default so many rounds now for Ukraine. It's time to realize it's just not working.
Yeah,
like,
let's shake it up, shall we?
Keep doing this. You know, sending 2 players into A main, sending 2 players at the end after the A players die to B. I'm not a big lover of this.
Yes, I agree. It's one of those things. What was the quote from Einstein? The definition of insanity is in the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Kind of the position we're getting to right now. It's the same play in the early to mid round for Ukraine that isn't quite working, and the result remains the same. Now that France have figured out what the default is, they've got a good understanding and an idea about how to break it down. Yeah, it's concerning. Pistols in this one, not expecting heroics, to be perfectly honest. It's one of those we always say, if you get a bomb plant, that'd be nice. Anything else, I feel like, is nothing too grandiose. Molotov does actually give away some information to know. There's at least a couple here. A little labor, though, from Julie. Does Rachel want to stick around? She's opting for the yes angle, and she's finding fight. It's actually a team kill. Either way, same result, but a 2v2.
Yeah, AK picked up, and a swing is perfect. That's the bomb that can make its way in. Astra on a flank. Well, guess what, Nao? I said go mid, and look, it's worked. And this was just with the pistols. They managed to get through an eco. And it leaves Astra in a clutch. She doesn't even have a kit. Despite all that money in the bank, relying on the rest of the team to bring the diffuser. It might be her that ends up the loser. As the old adage goes. First kill, hers. And a chance, revealed. Montana spotted in the open. Doesn't need the kit. There's one on the floor anyway. Astra gets the clutch. The post plant a little sloppy.
Yeah, there's no need to fight there. Via heaven, there is no need. Just, buy time. I mean, obviously, she probably wouldn't have known whether she had a kit or not, and probably expected a kit the same way we did. But yeah, I don't know. That's the first fight. You're so open here. And maybe a little bit of an off angle we can talk about. If it works, we can say that's an off angle. A little bit weird, but it works. But in the end, you just can't. You either got to play for each other and off each other. So the second is contact, the other swing in and getting that insta trade, or the other way of if one falls, the other is just buying as much time as humanly possible. France going to guarantee a lead heading into the second half at the bare minimum. Julie's got the auto shotgun in mid. This is probably, for me, one of the strongest positions to have a shotgun at the moment. A couple of the games I did at Pro League, people were playing this angle, and it worked. It was always kind of, teams like Para, for example, and it always seems to work.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that, in my eyes, is popularized a lot by Someday Young. I feel like he really did a lot on Monty. Really nice position.
Okay.
Lucky. Because that is like a peak that is just pure insanity to go with the XM. They do find success, finally. In A main, Montana, quick one onto Emerald, who gets flashed through that smoke, but the flash doesn't connect or is dodged. Astra tucks in heaven. No smoke. So she'll be given a free line of fire, and she even gets the double whiff on the AWP, and there's that XM. The Jaws theme starts to play. So it lurks in the background. Oh, she hears the player coming. She plays trigger to Saloon, waits for her to push forward, gets the kill. And Valenka has to clutch. She has a good opportunity if she goes in the K-Day. Oh, doesn't even look to her right. So K-Day, I take that one every day of the week.
Oh my. Another retake coming through, and the auto shotgun gets a kill, so that's all I care about. This flash doesn't go deep enough in towards main. For a moment, it looked potentially problematic, but Astra never should have got away with a second there. I think that's the main thing. Should have been traded immediately. Wasn't the case. And an 8-2. Ukraine, good that they get a round of that. Good that they get a bomb plant and all the rest, but still is a mammoth sort of deficit that they're in, which is already getting to the point of maybe even being unrecoverable. Even if they got towards 8-4, it might actually not be enough. This is the only map in the pool which, I guess, inherently is T-sided, and or at least feels that way. Statistics are leaning very heavily in that favor of this being the most T-sided map in the pool. And for Ukraine, they're not playing like it so far. They will get the opener, though, so that will help.
Didn't even smoke heaven there as well. That could have been a way to avoid that catastrophe. Catastrophe. Astra got the double kill from heaven. Catastrophe.
Working that one out. I like it.
Brandon would have liked it.
No, I get it. I get it.
Okay, cool. Nice kill from Rachel, but lost 2 teammates in the opening engagements and another one with the AWP. So they do, again, find success. Rachel's doing her best to try and get kills back, but she's dealt with. So Astra, low HP. A dream. That's not going to become a reality. Can at least get a kill. Get herself an AK. And probably save. I mean, she's got a lot of money.
Yeah, and honestly,
in fact,
these
the whole
kills
team kind of does.
These kills are so like they're so damning over towards Ukraine because they don't have a lot of money. So I actually, even if she doesn't get the round and doesn't do anything, I actually don't hate the decision to go and try and test the site itself just to see if you can get another kill. If Ukraine, for example, survive only 1 rifle, they're still going to really have a hard time truly buying. So that for me is the small thing. But either way, it's going to be a third, which is it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I would have preferred either she did what you said, which I think would have been a cool play because you can see that they're loaded. Oh, well, not super loaded. But I think the best thing to do otherwise would have been to grab that AK in the middle at least. So you've got an AK on your team, right? Especially got aimers like Rachel. You would love that weapon. Well, yeah, 3rd round on the T side. I mean, 8 is already such a massive haul of rounds on the CT side. You feel like you've pretty much won at that stage.
Sure, yeah. I think so. I mean, 8, it feels so difficult. Even if it is 8-4, it still feels so difficult to come back into.
I really like that Molotov. That was a fast way to do the Molotov that lands outside of dark. That's a really quick couple of kills. All right, hold up. Through the smoke, the AWP sings to 1 Astra. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't quite find the kill, but able to adjust onto another. Can't quite convert onto Bleeder, so they've found their way in. Smoke to Temple, but not one to block off the line for Kaede. She hits the headshot through the wall. And there is a smoke now that can be deployed to allow a safe cross to avoid this AWP. But keep your eyes on Emerald, who lies in wait in Temple.
Bomb planted safe, back default. Molotov actually gonna just tickle the toes a little bit. Might force a fire here. The flash looking the wrong way. Emerald comes out and is so hard focused on back left. Got it. Should be dropped and will be. That'll see off the half. 8-4. It's an okay couple of rounds at the end. A small semi-recovery, I guess you can call it, but it still feels like a big ask. I mean, honestly, 8 rounds on the CT side is a really, really solid showing on a map, which is the most T-sided map in the pool right now. And we know just how good France are when they get going. If they get a pistol, if they get the guns out early, I don't see a world in which they stop. So Ukraine really need to find a strong second wind in towards the second half.
It warmed up towards the end. It felt like they're really starting to put those rounds together. Yeah, if you lose this pistol, good luck. That's essentially how I see it. And France are playing a very interesting one. They're all just kind of sit back, looking for their individual fights, seeing if Ukraine's going to get aggressive on any avenues. They're like holding for pushes in each of the choke points. They are going to send the smokes to B on the French side. Now we'll draw a player over. So we've got 3 at lying wait, but the lack of a plant, the lack of really anything, it's going to keep them questioning. Smoke deployed by Montana. And France not able to fight through it. They have to fall back. So now they're in an interesting position where they've drawn Ukraine the other direction. And that's worked.
I love it. The bait and switch.
You could get the bomb over still. All good.
It's been spotted. So now at least Ukraine have that confirmation. But Rachel going to find the kill. Astra, I don't actually think will be getting too much action. No, they've kind of gone the other way. Might need her over sooner rather than later. The fights go 1 for 1, and I think this round already on time alone should be enough.
Yeah, even with that kit that was in play, there was no smoke to throw onto the bomb. But they get some quick kills. There's maybe a world. Julie quickly makes that not the case. The Glock going forward. She jumps around. She's just wasting time. I thought she was going to go for the knife for a second. But not needed. Emerald confirms it. And France take the pistol.
And that could potentially start to spell maybe the beginning of the end in this one. 9-4, a 5-round lead, 4 rounds away, and a little scrappy, but all in all, a bait and switch, and the ruse is something that Ukraine just completely fall for in that one. Once that bomb goes down, it already feels like job done. Then they have the numbers, they know they have the space, and all the rest, and everything kind of just slots itself into position. So, this sort of, I mean, this one's a throwaway, bit of a gamble stacking towards mid. The damage dealt, the back 10, only getting a couple, thankfully it's cleaned up, but maybe a little bit more expensive than Ukraine would have wanted.
France.
Sorry, yes, than France would have wanted.
But it's all good. They have so many rounds to work with that they cost matters little. We'll see all the rifles in the hands of the Ukrainians. Only one SMG just in the server. That's in Julie's paws. I say pause because her in-game nick is monkey to Julie. Monkeys don't have paws. Monkeys have hands.
Yeah. do you know the reference to that? You actually.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've seen the live action. Oh, she's got long arms. Slapping him. Wait, she didn't even get the kill. Oh no.
It's a team kill.
A TK. Chaos in mid as well as K-Day collapses on them. There's this aggressive push out dark. But though, still gets a kill. And Emerald will trade with Montana so low. French are everywhere. Oh, not good. Not good. Julie gets the kill.
It's just carnage. Absolute chaos all the way through that. A funny round. A weird one, and might potentially start to spell the beginning of the end here in this one. I mean, they go for a fighting towards bit. Something that, in all fairness, France have actually done a really good job of, has been trying to utilize and all the rest. That controlling towards mid and then going for splits off the back of it. It's something which is working, and yeah, no complaints really about it at all. They've utilized the space created there. Of Ukraine, they are playing for overtime, so no buy here. Probably not expecting to get around. A lot of damage dealt towards the Util already. 4 points of HP to start, and a nice find by Rachel just as that smoke plumes.
Not forcing into this one means they're playing for overtime, which means they need 8 in a row. Unless, of course, these pistols can do something, but with one player falling quickly, one brought low, one at half, you don't fancy the chances. How sharp French are looking. Looking at a 12-4 scoreline before you know it.
Yeah, and thoroughly deserved as well, in all fairness, for the French side. They've really not pulled any punches all the way throughout this. Rachel finds one. Julie does take a dink, but gets the kill nonetheless. And the last is Montana. Bit of an opener prayer in a 1v5. Let's be honest, this one's not getting off the ground. Any consolation kills would be nice, but I doubt it's going to be the case. 11-4, about to turn 12, and France so close now to seeing this one off in a very, quick fashion, just showing how good this map is for them.
We know the ramifications of this. France win it. They will be topping their group, and it will mean Ukraine cannot advance to playoffs. Their elimination on the line. And 8 chances to close for the French. Kede lets them know.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But yeah, this is a cool showing out from France. I think the Anubis has actually looked maybe even a little bit cleaner than the Ancient, even though they do go towards Ancient quite a lot. I actually like the way they're approaching this on that T side for France. Maybe you got to take it with a pinch of salt because Ukraine have really struggled generally, but France do look pretty good on this map. Rachel 20 kills to her name. Julie as well 15. The big names aren't really actually making the big impact, and why not? Julie will fall. There's an opener.
Nice little aggressive play. Punishes the dropout from window. And Rachel has walked through middle. So she can just split. They have no idea.
Oh.
Gets one, but still 2 players present here. This can still fall apart as they commit to B. Kane is isolated with the bomb. They found kills on all the extremities, and that's an ambitious transfer. Couldn't quite get the first one. It looked perfect for France to lock that one in after losing the opening kill, but they can't get into B. And that's a good hold.
So much damage dealt, but 100 to kill. Couldn't see them off. Ukraine stay alive, but right back into the investments for France. And that one just a little bit scrappier. I think if a double gets found here by Rachel, that round is on. But the fact that it only goes for one, and for Coyote, you know, trying to transfer, I like the ambition. It does get a little bit close. It's a fair decent amount of damage, but it's not enough. 12-5. I still feel like this one is far from recoverable. You probably see, for me at least, Ukraine up towards 10 rounds for this to be in for that conversation. However, another opener on towards Julie isn't a bad way to start.
Not bad at all. It costs a little bit of health, but Rachel also very low. Ukraine giving us a little bit of fight. A hit on the cards for the T's. Rachel's just putting a bit of pressure on it, Dark, to keep these players rooted, and if she can keep 3 here, you do think the French will have all the advantage hitting on A. They're not moving. They're not rotating.
True.
They smoke this molly. I think France might almost play themselves if they decide to come back to B now.
Yeah, they might actually overcomplicate it. Rachel's so low as well. I don't think she can even afford to take a fight. Flashes are coming around that corner. They actually don't clear her. They spotted both, and one of them was the bomb too. And a Molotov down now as well. Where do we want to go? They look like they're going back towards where there's still 2 remaining.
All right, well, Rachel can just get the kill in the open. That'll work, but Glitter in the back lines. Inglyph, she needs a multi, and she gets it. Delivers with the double. And that gives Ukraine a fighting chance. Rotates on their way. It's planted for KD in Dark. There is a smoke in the hands of the army who can lock off that angle if they can get close enough to start that defuse. Kits on both players. Astra's forward. Astra's spotted, but can't quite hit the shot. You can see how close that was. Montana, 1 versus 2 for Ukraine to stay in the competition. And Astra might not even let it. Hits the shot. And France top their group completely flawless.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff coming through from France. Maybe a slight hiccup in a couple of those rounds, but all in all, very clean Counter-Strike. Very, very... I think the one thing for me is sometimes the way in which France find these rounds out of nowhere, they're so replicable. They have this brilliant plan coming in towards this. I think the benefit of playing a boot camp and all the rest, obviously paying off in dividends. The synergy and cohesion between this French side is showing evidently. And I think for Ukraine, for them, maybe a map which they don't have as many reps on. I felt like we were talking about it where the default was just something they continued to try and run. It just never seemed to find any traction, but I don't think they had a deep enough of a strat book to be able to do anything else.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be the thing. And I think if you're Ukraine, you need to play a bit more unconventional to find a way past this French team, just with all of things as they are, with French being such established names, with all of the resources they have being on boot camp at the moment. You know, all the advantages are in their kind of book. So you need to go for something a bit unconventional. And the default just wasn't cutting it. We could see like a few of these rounds where the ideas were there. The CD side in particular, I think, even if they'd started on that, we could have had a much closer game because they were actually looking pretty solid. But yeah, the lack of pistol, the lack of being able to get going on that first half was a big killer for them. So sadly for Ukraine, that does mean they can't make it through to playoffs. France topped the group, and we might even be able to call the rest of the results. Because
potentially
Slovakia versus Turkey is going on right now. That's 12-9. If Slovakia win that, they're through.
True.
Because Czech Republic just beat Bulgaria. So Czech Republic and France are through. And that means the winner of Slovakia-Turkey will be the 3rd team going through from that group. So Slovakia, 3 opportunities to do it. So they're currently 12-9 versus Turkey.
Yeah, damn. You are right. That is, yeah, that's pretty spicy. I think as well, some of the other groups are coming to a point of being near conclusion as well. But Group A, this one was always so top heavy with France, and I think they just showcased just how good they are. Brilliant work from them. It's interesting to see maybe how some of these others finish off. I mean, obviously Sweden look decent over towards Group C. They're flawless as well. Same for Poland in towards Group D. Expected. Group B is having a little bit of a competition as Romania did pick up a loss to Spain, but aside from that, it's been relatively plain sailing. So we're starting to get nearly all the groups concluded. I think it's just about actually finding out more or less who's actually being that second and third spot. Most of these groups being top heavy, we can kind of guarantee who's going to finish top at this point, but it's about who actually goes directly to the bracket, who's actually going towards the lower bracket, heading in towards the best of threes. So interesting times here, and we've got, of course, one more game to decipher basically where all of these groups are going to conclude. Yeah, interesting. I don't know there can be too many more shakeups. Potentially the only one I can think of is maybe the likes of Group B or Group C. Denmark
I think
and Norway.
Group C, the current game going on is Norway versus Portugal. And if I'm not wrong, the winner of that will probably come third.
Pretty spicy.
I'm not sure. That one could come down to some tiebreakers. We'll see. If Portugal win it, then 100% they're through. But if they lose it, which they might, because it's 11-8 to Norway right now, that could open that group up. And for Group B, I think that's going to be decided by the final game, which we'll be bringing up next, Neo, because we've got Belgium, right, taking on Iceland. So I think if Belgium win that, and if Spain lose, Belgium are through.
There we
So
go.
we'll see. We'll work that out in a minute anyway. But after this break, we'll be coming back for that game. Don't go anywhere.